Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Binance Zcash and BCH price prediction based on Elliott Wave analysis. We're gonna start with Binance here to see where are we heading on the all-time history. We have here, of course, an impulse already finished for a wave A or a wave 1, followed by a correction for a wave B or a wave 2, and followed by a huge, of course, impulse here towards the upside, which is very likely, of course, to be a wave 3, meaning we are looking here at a 1, 2, and then wave 3. We're looking for a wave 4 and a 5 toward the upside. This wave 4 here has to reach the 0.23 fib level as, of course, a target for a wave 4, and this fib level is on the logarithmic chart. Now don't forget that the linear chart is also a possibility where you might reach, of course, much more lower than this, which is, of course, the 0.38, in this case $840. However, I prefer to keep so far until now the logarithmic chart for wave 4 until we see something else is unfolding there. Something that it shows, of course, a strength as an impulse towards the upside. If this happens, then therefore, of course, I will consider again the linear chart there to unfold something for higher for a wave 5. What I mean with this, where we are looking right now for a potential leading diagonal wave A or a wave 1. And that means in case you are in a wave A, you're looking for a wave B, and you're still looking for a little bit higher here. You would like to reach at least 0.38 fib level and then pushing for a wave C toward the downside, where we might see, of course, a deeper wave 4. Now it can be as well a potential wave 1 and then you reach a wave 2 and then 3, 4 and a 5, an impulse for a wave A and then getting a wave B later on, and then wave C to hit perfectly the target, the logarithmic target for a wave 4, 0.23. So therefore, before getting a signal that we are not corrective here for a wave 2 or a wave B, I will not, of course, change the logarithmic chart for a wave 4. But if we get something very high here as a wave 3, breaking the 1-to-1 fib level as a signal, well, then I will take it into consideration, and of course, that something for higher might be unfolding there for Binance. Now, if we move on to the 1 hour chart here, on the 1 hour chart, we are looking also at this potential wave 1, wave 2, in case it is happening. Don't forget 886 is taking, reducing so much the possibility, giving higher possibility for a zigzag finished wave A there, and finished another ABC, also with the 886, by the way, so you cannot really consider another 1-2 there. Double 1-2 can be, but of course, guys, 886 reduced so much the possibility, meaning, of course, an ABC is higher as possibility there. Now, what we are looking for then, for a wave C, at least here, the 1-to-1 level, $961, where you might hit a 1-2, and currently you might be in another leading diagonal for another 1-2, and then pushing for higher again. And that means, of course, this scenario where we are looking here at 3 waves, zigzag, another zigzag, and another zigzag right now, this is another wave 1, very likely, of course, to be unfolding as a diagonal there. And that means, of course, we might be in double 1-2 here. Again, for a wave C unfolding toward the $961, and probably, of course, it can be higher in case that we are looking here for something much more impulsive or much more bullish, I would say, rather than being in a correction for a wave C here or a wave 2. And as you can see, the 0.38 fib level has to be hit at 984. So I would say yes, it is very likely even to reach a little bit higher and then seek for something for lower after all. If we don't, of course, if we break this area and we continue for higher, breaking the 1-to-1 here, then this is, of course, a green flag, I would say, for bullish, and we might push for higher there for Binance here. Yep, so this is regarding Binance, the price action, the key level, the targets, and what we might expect here. I see everything is still, of course, looking for higher a little bit, but too early to call something bullish. We might, of course, drop down from this area, this zone there. Yep, so this is regarding Binance. Let's move for Zcash. So for Zcash, That is a very interesting chart as well, where we were here a little bit confused, of course, with the price. We have something as 5 waves diagonal. And potentially, since we have started, of course, something impulsive there, that means very likely a new psychology is unfolding in this area where you have a wave 1 here and another ABC for a wave 2 and another 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5 toward the upside here. Now, this wave 2 even can be very complex structure W, X, and Y since you didn't took the low. And of course, this can be something as a very complex structure in a wave Y for a wave 2 and starting your 1, 2 again and then getting the wave 3. And we cannot ignore, of course, we cannot ignore that this is a wave 1. Despite whatever is going on here as complications, this might be related to the wave 2. That because, of course, of the massive move in a wave 3 that we are looking at here in double 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 4, and a 5. And we still have a huge 1, 2 there. So therefore, this might be your wave 4. And we might still seeking after a wave 5 in those targets 1,388 and $1,059. Now, basically, if this is a finished correction here, if we are looking for a correction finish there, I would like to see, of course, something impulsive toward the upside, which we are looking at a leading diagonal right now, which is a good thing. Followed by a 1, 2 and another impulse as expected here. But of course, we need to revise this. Basically, yes, this can be a wave 3 there, and this is your wave 4 still unfolding. And that means, of course, this might still unfold a wave 5 later on to finish wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. And this might finish, of course, in a bigger picture than the wave 3 over there in the orange, and the wave 5 to be following, meaning taking the high simply and finishing up, of course, this wave 5. Now, we gotta be careful as well. You might still be, of course, in a potential A, B, and a C as well. Yeah, so we have to be careful with this one because it can be very likely as well that that this can still be a bigger correction, and that means, of course, you might drop down for a wave C here after finishing a zigzag. A, B, and a C, and we drop down. And even the A wave C, even with this with small wave 5, by the way, because this will finish a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this might be a finished wave C in ABC. Yeah, so I would say then W, X, and a Y, and you drop down. So let me label the W, X, and a Y here. W, X, Y. So if we drop down, this is a finished wave Y. ABC there, 3 waves, and we push for lower. And if we push for one more high, that might be your wave C. And then, of course, starting to unfold a bigger wave C. And in this case, if this happens, this might be your target as well at 1-to-1 fib level regular flat. And we might reach, of course, in this case, the $226. Can it be a huge wave fall? Well, can be, of course, can be. But yeah, if we break it, then of course something bearish is unfolding there. Meaning, if something bearish will unfold here, we gotta be careful. Of course, on the all-time history, we have to reconsider what we saw in the beginning. Meaning, this diagonal, yeah, we have to be careful. Might be an A, B, and a C here. Yeah, so we gotta be careful with it. But too early to call. Yeah, so too early because the invalidation is still very, very far. Yeah, so very low. Yep, so this is regarding Zcash. Let's move for the next one, which is BCH. For BCH on the all-time history, also we are looking at a potential triangle here, formation ABCDE, and that because, of course, the 886 taken over there, and we don't have anything impulsive here yet, but because we got the wave E as a zigzag, and we start to see something impulsive, very, very likely that we have finished the triangle here in the middle as it was supposed to be, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the next target for BCH might reach, of course, the common target $2,000, and can be the uncommon around the 1,450. Now, if we dive inside it on the 2 hours chart here, we might be, of course, in a potential double 1, 2, because, of course, you're looking here at 1, 2. And another leading diagonal or ending diagonal. We gotta be careful. We're gonna see this scenario, but it can be, of course, another wave 1. This is your wave 2 because this looks a little bit corrective. I'm looking for higher. Now, confirmation that we might shift for a massive wave 3 here is taking simply the high here, confirmation for higher prices. Yeah, so these are the possibility. Now, what if we are in an A, B, and a C here? Is very likely as well, of course. In that case, you are simply in a bigger correction. And that means, of course, you are here in a bigger ABC. Here we go. A, B, and a C. And this should be in the brackets. Yeah, so in case that we don't take the high. So I preferably, even honestly, I prefer to take this high, yeah, to confirm like really higher prices there. Which is, of course, in that case, the 651. If this happens, that means we might open really high. If it doesn't and we drop down here, that might mean, of course, we're looking for a wave C, a deeper correction here, which it might hit the following target as well as a potential regular flat. So we gotta be careful with it as well. $433. Your confirmation for this scenario, well, is hard, I would say, because it might be very low, because you are here in a potential 1212. But the first confirmation you might get here is for lower, is this price, of course. And that means, of course, the second 12 here as a diagonal is invalidated by taking the low at $512. Yep, so these are the updates for BCH, Zcash, and BNB. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.